まだ暴れ足りねえ奴がいるのなら来い。俺たちが相手をしてやる。
What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So we're finally getting around to getting up the showcase video for the brand new Super Evolution arriving into Treasure Cruise, and of course you could pick up the Super Evolution skulls from the recent Kizuna Clash versus Garp, and it's another dual unit Super Evolution, which is exactly what we wanted to see. And once we knew that Super Evolution dual units were coming into the game, I think most people would have said that this is their most anticipated dual unit to receive a Super Evolution, or at least one of the ones that most people were anticipating. And while this character is much anticipated, I feel like there are definitely some abilities in this character's kit that were not what we were expecting, and we were hoping for this character to be probably a little bit different than what he was finally given to us. So in this video, we're going to discuss this as I show you guys some clips using him in content, of course. So this character in their dual form, of course, this is their max potential with max level limit break, level 150, 6+, of course. This is the best possible kit you can get. The dual captain provides -1 cooldown to the crew, which most characters do that these days. Also 5.25 times attack to all characters, 1.35 HP. But then also making quick Psy, recovery, and tandem slots beneficial to the crew, 25% damage reduction, removing 10 turns of special bind, and then whenever you activate a special, or whenever you have a special that activates a chain multiplier effect, you will go ahead and extend the duration by 1 turn. So this is a new component in this character's special. You know, multipliers aside, this is like a new mechanic that this character never had in their base form. And it's kind of like whatever, really, to be honest. Like, you know, this character's already a multi-turn chain locker special, so the fact that he extends the duration of chain locks even further is kind of redundant, in my personal opinion. But at least at the end of the dual captain, he does provide the 1000, up to 1000 base attack, end of turn damage effect, which is really nice. So in their dual form, they allow you to get around resilience effects on the enemy, which is incredibly useful to have. And even if there is no normal attacks only, you just get absurd amounts of AoE damage, which is fantastic. In their dual form, you know, in a single form, sorry, it's pretty much the same kind of thing, just lower multipliers, but unfortunately in their solo forms they do not do the end of turn damaging effects. So captain ability wise, they didn't really need to change much. He already was a phenomenal rainbow captain with the ability to remove special bind, which is always going to be useful. So captain ability wise, they didn't really need to change that much. However, when you look at their special ability, this was a component that a lot of people were really hoping that this character received big upgrades. And while there are upgrades, they're probably not the upgrades that most people were anticipating. So the special ability of this character does a 20% health cut that goes through all defensive effects. Then he changes block slots into matching and then locks them for 1 turn. So the manipulation of block slots with the orb block on top of that is a completely new mechanic that this character never had. So we take those. I mean, that's always going to be useful. I think that orb blocks are pretty underrated special effects in general. They are very, very useful to have. So he does that, and then he also provides a 3.75 chain lock for 3 turns. And this is the part where a lot of people were a little bit disappointed, because this character prior to his evolution was already a 3.5 chain lock for 3 turns. So the fact that they've just upped it from 3.5 to 3.75 for a generic chain lock, and since the initial introduction of Shanks crew into the game, of course we have access to chain boundaries, which, to be honest, are much better mechanics to be utilizing. And the fact that this character just provides a slightly higher chain lock rather than giving us a chain boundary effect is a huge slap in the face, considering we had access to level limit break Garp, for example, which that character with his level limit break, he upped from I think it was a 3.25 chain lock to a 3.25 chain boundary, and even though it is a chain boundary, which are obviously better than chain locks, they actually make it so that the upper boundary of that chain boundary with Garp caps out at only a 6.0. So even though, yeah, chain boundary, it's amazing, but you can't utilize it with other OP abilities to get absurd high chain multiplier effects. It does cap out at 6.0, and I just feel like this character would have benefited greatly if this character had that type of effect. You know, being a 3.75 chain boundary on paper sounds insane, and it is, but if you have the higher cap, only cap out at, let's say, like a 4.5 or a 5 times chain, I think that kind of mitigates some of the issues that would come with a really high chain boundary. And the fact that they opted to just present a 3.75 chain lock, well, yes, if you use him as a captain, it does extend the duration for a further turn. So if you're having Shanks crew captain using his special, it becomes a 4-turn 3.75 chain lock. And this does mean that if you have Shanks crew as a captain and you have another character on your crew that does a chain boundary or another chain lock, that also gets extended. So that is kind of cool that you can utilize that in certain ways. But furthermore, in his special, he has a different effect depending on what captain is up at the time. So if you have a quick captain active, you get a 1000 base attack boost for the crew for 3 turns. If you have a Psy captain, you get a 2.25 color affinity boost for 3 turns. And this is another effect that really doesn't make a lot of sense. When you have a character that we just had recently with Cat Viper and Dogstorm with their super evolution, you literally gave them like everything in one kit, right? This unit does attack boost, orb boost, color affinity, even a conditional boost, right? And has additional utility in their special. They gave this character absurd buffs. And then you have Shanks crew, which, while yeah, he has a lot of really cool things going on in his special, you cannot get all of these to activate simultaneously. So I think that's a little bit of a missed opportunity there. I really would have preferred if all of these effects, like the color affinity, the base attack boost, and then make the chain lock chain boundary instead, all of that should have been activated simultaneously, and this character would see a lot more people be more happy about this super evolution, because this was a very anticipated unit, and a lot of people just feel kind of disappointed considering characters that were of lesser hype values, you know, received better buffs overall, which is kind of upsetting because a lot of people wanted Shanks crew to be the go-to guy, and considering the buffs that he received, he's probably not going to be used as much as what we're hoping. And then finally, we need to discuss his swap effects. Unfortunately, this character did not get any type of increase or changes to his base switch effects, which provides adjacent slots into matching and a 1.5 attack boost to all characters. It's a great swap effect and will continuously to be useful in a lot of content moving forward. Then he gets access to a super switch. Now his super switch, it does require you to swap 5 times. Now this is also something that's kind of interesting because Cat Viper Dogstorm received a super swap and you only had to swap 4 times for their super swap, and arguably could be better depending on the situation. So the fact that this character has 1 more swap that is needed in order to get it, and the effect is actually still pretty good, but it just provides a full board of slots and a 2.25 times attack boost to all characters for 1 turn. Not disregarding how good that super swap is, it's a fantastic ability to have, no doubt, but I just think that they could have added additional abilities even in the base swap or this super swap. So the fact that this character received lesser upgrades compared to previous super evolutions and level limit breaks, I think a lot of people are just going to be disappointed about that. But despite all of that, yes, this character is still going to be useful in a lot of content moving forward. The captain ability to remove special bind will always be useful, even when this character was a terrible unit in terms of multipliers in this character's base form was always useful due to that ability, because there are not too many characters that can just innately remove that amount of special bind in their captain. So overall, I think the upgrades are fine, but definitely could have been better than what he actually got. And of course the special animation actually does look really cool on this character too. That is going to wrap it up for me though. Thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the 6+ Shanks crew down below in the comment section. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.